something with a stimulus check?
No, I don't know. Hi, friends. Host Eric here. Who's talking with famous people? I'm here with Rachel.
Hi.
Hi. And I was reading some comments this morning on the typing I did of the ENTJ guy. I guess his name was Victor, maybe?
Victor was the ISFP.
Benjamin,
Benjamin.
who's clearly an ENTJ. Okay. And in the comments, he was saying he was objecting to specific aspects of the TI test, saying that I had only used the quantifier only and that was what was confusing him and so forth.
Ah.
Well, I mean, obviously, if I say only pigs oink, Porky is a pig, therefore Porky oinks, that's invalid. If because I used the quantifier only, it fooled you, that means you're not a TI type. You're not TI Dom for sure.
What?
It's like I actually asked him multiple TI questions. He got all of them wrong,
Really?
except for one of them. I got one of them right, and it didn't. I was reading his processing the whole time. Right? He's not processing by a TI really. He's processing by NI. He's going holistically. This seems false. This seems true. Or whatever. So I mean. And then there's an objection he rises to linking the linkage of memory and TI. The fact is, memory and TI are linked. Though, if you have memory polar, your TI can't be very active because TI pays attention to, keeps track of the symbols and their relations to each other. So it's like it's a grammar thing, kind of. Hi, Lantern Ask. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. You get extra points for being the INFJ who was most able personally to resonate with Rachel's experience and therefore be more helpful to me than others. You know.
What experience on budgets in general when we were arguing? Well,
Lantern Ask, I believe, indicated that she too has had psychiatric things going on.
Oh.
And so, you know, for INFJs who don't have that going on, I think there might be a tendency to be like, well, as an INFJ, I'd never.
Yeah. Hey, King Krishna Sarmapagoo, talking about people who are helping.
It's King Krishna Sarmapagoo.
You know how much I love it so much. You.
King Krishna Sarmapagoo. How's it going, King Krishna Sarmapagoo? We got the gardeners here, as you can hear. I hate gardeners. I hate the gardeners.
Oh, thank you, King Krishna Sarmapagoo. It's very sweet.
Okay, so John Titer, good question. What we see is the TI DOMs and TI second in the sensors, the ISTP, ESTP, they have SI respectively 5th and 6th. 5th is a bridge function with 4th. So, like, I'm both NI and SI, basically. And I'm kind of half-assedly both of them. Same thing with ESTP. They're both SI and NI, kind of half-assedly both of them. So they've got pretty good SI, good enough for TI anyway. You know, the thing is, remember, TI, the processing skill is one aspect of it. But the fact is, it's most native to processing verbal things or language things, and less native to processing in the physical realm. So as a consequence, STPs are kind of split types. You know, they've got either a dominant or a tool function that's conducive to parsing out shit linguistically, but they've got a frame or a tool function that's sort of contraindicative of parsing out things deliberatively at all. And so the thing is, what we want to do is we want to acknowledge something about TI, that in order to be effective, you need at least a certain amount of SI. Now, it's not a very meaningful thing to factor in to anybody's TI state Bod 123, you're getting timed out. Rachel understands
I do
exactly what I'm
actually.
saying.
I've
Okay.
been studying psychology since I was in high school, so I really do.
Yeah.
I
But more importantly, she understands exactly what I'm saying because I can have these sort of conversations with her all the time, and she's being totally engaged with me about understanding everything I'm saying. It's fucking completely garbage.
Facts.
Anyway, it's only decisive the inclusion of SI considerations, really, or determinate or meaningful, even particularly in evaluating TI when the SI is polar, because then you see the linkage to the two. You have to have some SI at least in order to TI shit verbally or auditorily. And TI is designed fundamentally as an auditory function. It's not. Remember, it's like the way of paying attention parses things before there's language. So, written language. Before there's written language. When there's just spoken language. So, in other words, TI is active before you can read and write. TI was active before humans had complex written languages, and the reason is because people have some capacity, varying degrees of capacity, to retain short-term bursts of information. I'd say RAM, basically, like to keep in your active random access memory the specifics of a set of statements that have been made. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about, Jay Kerwitz. I've been reading the comments. I was like, wow, how are there 68 comments on this video already? And I was looking through them, and it just makes me shake my head. You know, there's a couple of different points he made. One is that my TI tests were unfair because I used the quantifier only, which fooled him.
That's why sometimes they do seem like I remember when you were typing me for the TI test, I'm like, oh, it sounds like a trick question. It's not really. It's just trying to see how you're following.
The process of TI is replacing the words with A's and B's, basically. So, you know, if you are not very TI, and I say all frogs are reptiles, and this salamander is a frog, therefore the salamander is a reptile. If you're a TI user, you go, okay, that's valid. If you're not a TI user, you go, but wait a second. All frogs aren't reptiles, they're amphibians.
Yeah.
And that's not TI, right? You might think, well, that's consistency, that's TI. No, that's treating language as a whole object rather than treating it as a mechanical processing of meanings across a display of time, you know, across a display of turns rather than time. Yeah, it is valid to you, but the key thing here is, you know, it's not impossible for people who aren't TI DOMs and TI whatever to get that right. But what I'm saying is, if you're TI polar, you're gonna say something like, but frogs aren't reptiles; they're amphibians. If you're TI ignoring as well, you're likely to say something like that. So your ENTJs, your ESTJs, along with your ESFPs and your ENFPs, are probably the most likely types to say something like that.
Yeah.
Because they're either ignoring the TI or they're blind to it. Demonstrative 6-slot or 8-slot is much more effective. You're an ISFP, Octavio Silva. 8-slot TI understands the concept. You just have to shift gears to TI gear. You go, oh, I get it. You're doing that black and white thing. And then you shift over to that black and white thing, and you correctly do the TI.
Right.
But if you're ignoring or polar, you don't seem to have the capacity really to do that very easily. To go, no. Oh, I get it. You're doing that black and white thing.
It can be doing that actually.
For TI people, that black and white thing is called being sensible, and the alternative to that black and white thing is called mushy feelings. You know. So we don't see it as that black and white thing. We see it as how to think.
And King Krishna Samarpagu, thank you about my eyes. It is Kajal, if that's how you say it. but it's like a wet-proof gel, and I slept with my makeup overnight, so it's like giving me that look. But thank you very much. I did use the eyeliner last night.
See, I asked her to sleep with her makeup on because I think makeup is like a stew. It's better the next day.
Okay, I'm going to actually say I know a makeup artist who she's so used to wearing makeup to bed that her husband has never seen her without eyeliner on. I'm like, you know what, girl? If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Go do it. She's a great makeup artist. Charlotte Tilbury. She's a great makeup artist.
Okay, but anyway, can I get a what from the TI users, TI 1 and 2s in here, that there's no way in the history of the world that guy could possibly be an INTP? Are we all in agreement about this?
Who? The Benjamin?
It's 0.000 chance of him being an INTP. Can I get a what?
Kaja is good. It's so creamy and black. No chance in any conceivable reality, says Jake Hurwitz. I don't know why he was fighting on or arguing any other type than ENTJ. Lip balm and collagen is a really nice look. It's not too much, It's just a little something for the face when you want to play a little bit. I know for me, last night I wore it because I was inspired by Sensei Yamato from Naruto, because I think my eyes look like his when I rim them.
That's the sort of sentence I've always wanted to hear from a girlfriend. I was inspired by Sensei Yamato from Naruto.
I really, really was.
Yeah, that's the kind of girlfriend that I'm just like, take my breath away.
Thanks, babe. I was arguing with his twin, also fake INTP, in the comments. TI just doesn't care. I mean, it's like they're both the white. It's, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't care. I don't think it cares to a degree. I think that is right a little bit, just a little bit though. Because they could be some pretty impassioned people about the things that they love. So,
one way you can tell he's not a TI user is the way he responds to arguments. It's like he's not responsive.
No, he's not.
He's totally non-responsive. He gets just ground and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's so TE, and he's not being responsive to our process analysis critiques at all. Yeah, is this a logic question? What TI? Excellent point, Ethan McDonald. What TI user asks, is this a logic question? TI users are like,
they know.
Oh, wait, you mean this isn't a logic question? Like, if you ask about emotions for an ENTP, you'd be like, what emotion should Judy feel? If Bob is feeling angry, we'll be like, okay, Judy must feel mischievous? No, Eric, trick question. That has no answer. It's a ridiculous question. Oh, really? Yeah, feelings don't work like that. Oh, okay. That's... Yeah, his 8th slot is FE too. He doesn't have polar FE. He's got 8th slot FE. He's got to be an ENTJ. There's just no chance he's anything but an ENTJ.
Do you know what temperature is supposed to be like today?
It's going to be between sexy and super sexified. Which one it's going to be? I don't know what the temperature's going to be. I suspect hot-ish.
Okay, I'm going to wear the dress that I got there.
Okay, cool.
heard that you were talking shit. You didn't think that I would hear it. That is a good song.
Me? You're not talking about me, are you?
No, it just came to my head.
I'm not familiar with that song.
It's a few times you've been around that track, but it's just not gonna happen like that because ain't no holla back girl.
Oh, you ain't no holla back girl.
Few times been around that track, so it's not just gonna happen like that because ain't no holla back girl. Ain't no holla back girl.
A holla back girl is somebody who hollers back.
Yeah, so like you're like,
hey girl.
Yeah, nice braids, Julie.
Holla back. And she's like, no. You're so funny. Watch out, you're almost on camera. Your back's on camera. Go forward. Yeah,
and
there
the
you
gardeners.
Go. You're showing off to the gardeners and to the internet.
I could use your help. I'll be able to do it myself.
That's demonstrative.
T.
No, I'm talking about Jake Hurwitz's comment here. Isaiah Rude also tested as any when you're smoking cigarettes. Quick but not good. That's demonstrative. Quick but not good.
Yeah, that's what made him think he was an ENTP too, right?
I never thought he was an ENTP. I mean, he thinks he's an INTP.
Oh, I thought you thought he was an ENTP.
No, he thinks he's an INTP. That's the other guy. Jason Blood thinks he's an ENTP, and I typed him as an ENTP. In the quick type, apparently.
I think that he's an ENTJ.
I don't think he's an ENTP after arguing with him about COVID.
I was like.
Those are not ENTP arguments.
Okay.
That he was making.
He knew the exact amount of money that he was like looking for to make in the year. I was like, that's like so experienced. That's like so focused on like the details of money that you guys don't. You get money, you know how to make a business and generate money, but I wouldn't say there's tactics to it.
Right. Ethan, there are some tricky ISTJs out there who can seem a little bit like TI users, TI dons. Like you might. It's conceivable for me to mistype a smart ISTJ for a little while as an INTP and still I do some NE tests. It's conceivable because that demonstrative TI is a little bit less. I mean, look, TI either is or is not, you know? So my demonstrative TE is pretty half-assed. It's rushed. It's, but demonstrative TI, I guess it might also be rushed, but it's because of the way TI is, if they get it right, they get it right, you know?
Fluffy floppies. Everyone must have.
Right. Well, the thing is, Bacon, it's not just typing somebody on arguments. It's typing somebody on how they argue, right? So it's like some people argue by being very directly responsive. Some people accept contradictions and adjust, and some people dispute contradictions. Contradiction disputers, when it gets extremely overwrought, it takes two forms. Either it takes a sort of relativist form like Cloud that says words don't mean anything, or it takes a you've got to prove this node more spectacularly well kind of approach, which is how INTPs tend to debate. They always, INTPs will be responsive, but they'll just require you to provide more necessary but insufficient burdens and stuff like that. You saw how NTPs debate when they dissemble. If you watched WSS Jack from WSS debate, that's TI dissembling what Jack was doing. TE dissembling is like, well, you need to link this to utility and empirics, and then like, I guess you'd call it NI dissembling is sort of what he's doing there by saying, but here's some NI truths that are consistent with what I'm saying, and I'm just going to not expect my NI truths to be parsable anyway, so it's fine. It's like that's NI tool running amok.
Thank you, Octavia Silva. I've never heard that comment before. That's very nice. Maybe I'm doing it subconsciously for Earth Day.
Maybe Earth Day's been a while ago, but maybe. What does deconstructive or constructive mean? Well, deconstructive means that basically everybody's communications, for example, are trying to get to zero. TI wants communications to get to zero. It's either you're failing or okay, you're legitimate, right? So it's the mean kind of function. You can the highest score you can get with TI is 0. You're not wrong, and everything else is below 0. With TE, you start at 0. You say if we're assuming we're at least 0, this thing I'm going to do is legitimate, and we try to figure out how effective it can be.
Yeah.
And going up in score. So you could think of TI as ranging from -10 to 0, and TE is ranging from 0 to 10.
And that really explains why, that's the popularity of Minecraft. Minecraft, you're going from 0 and you're crafting up
To 10, right.
Yep.
So that's what I mean by deconstructive or constructive. Deconstructive means that you're communicating to establish the legitimacy necessary to go forward from that. Whereas constructive means you're arguing about what you ought to do and how. So in other words, if somebody takes a constructive approach to this video, they're going to try to find the things in the video that I say that are useful to them and take those away. For those who are deconstructive, they're going to try to find the ways in which they can prove me wrong. Good night, Can Christmas, Hunger Pagoo. Don't let the proverbial bed bugs bite.
Yeah.
Always good advice.
It is.
Now, particularist and universalist is another dichotomy that is independent of cognitive functions. Both these dichotomies are independent of cognitive functions. Deconstructive or constructive, I'm using to describe the habits of approach to a given, say, document. The most deconstructive types are the NTPs.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Okay. But NFPs can be quite deconstructive as well. It probably has to do with extroverted intuition as much as it does with TI. So you will hear NFPs deconstruct by saying things like, but you don't know, and you go on.
Did they say you don't know me?
And that's SFPs. No, that's SFPs.
You know me. You don't know me.
You don't know any universal truths. That's NFPs. You don't know me. That's SFPs. You don't know that. You don't know that empirically enough is TE. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about is TI.
Yeah. You do that.
And only one of those is right. Anyway, particularist and universalist is another dichotomy. Oh yeah, you're trying to put people in boxes. That's the NFP way of deconstructing. You're just trying to put people in boxes. Yes, you're right. Am I doing a good job of it? I don't care because boxing itself is fundamentally wrong. Okay, scurry away now.
This is the brush part, and this is the color part.
Well, regardless, I need to drink some more grapefruit juice because I'm suddenly feeling
it's so good.
Yeah, again.
We've missed it.
Yeah. I felt meow earlier. I drank some grapefruit juice and I felt better.
I'm doing my makeup out of board COVID stuff. See? You see the split?
The box is comfortable. Good point, Sandy. If the box fits,
the box fits.
You know?
Yes, a get ready with me stream. It really is. There's no particular reason at all. I just feel pretty.
Well, you know, my pretty princess.
Yeah.
That we do have a very exciting outing to do later.
You do?
Yeah. You gotta go to the Methodist Hospital and get them to send your lab.
Oh yeah. So I gotta look to do that.
Sure you do.
Right?
Yeah, you do.
The trick that I learned from I think it was a Bustle article was to take the eye pencil and rim the outside of it first and then fill in with little strokes. And it actually, I think it's the best method so far that I've worked out.
Well, I do know that you have attained epic levels of juiciness.
Thank you, my love. You've attained epic levels of juiciness, and they're all Florida natural.
If I had to put a word after juicy to describe you, that word would be couture.
I was born on so many butts during the late 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, baby.
Juicy couture. Or what's
Thanks,
that?
Sandy.
What's that other one? Baby fat. PHAT.
Yeah, baby fat. Mm-hmm. There was FUBU for men and baby fat for girls. Juicy couture. They made fun of that in Mean Girls.
Really?
Ooh. Yeah, they do.
That's it. Is it like yesterday's news? Or something?
No, it was like the it thing to wear.
Oh, it was the it thing to wear.
Yeah.
Those are some brands that I can think of. Brands of clothing. I remember when I was a teenager, there was a store in the mall called Wet Seal that I took.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say Wet Seal.
My high school girlfriend to buy a dress there one time.
Wet Seal is a huge store. I guess for me, it was in the 90s. I don't know when you went with yours.
It was probably 1990.
That was the cool girl store I didn't have money for. But Wet Seal was big time.
It was probably her birthday or something. I don't remember.
That's nice.
Anyway, I don't think that store exists anymore, does it?
No.
I guess all the seals dried up.
I think so too. So, okay.
I got my lab work done today, everybody. I got my blood taken out. I gave them some pee. I didn't have a lot of pee. I just had a little bit of pee in me at the time. But
I forgot this one.
Would being XXTJ with ADHD suck? I don't think there are any STJs or any XXTJs who have ADHD. I think ADHD is a half-assed term to describe action types. SE and NE DOMs, mostly. It sort of applies to, some aspects of it apply to your tool function NE types, INFPs and INTPs, namely the quality of not being able to get anything done is very much manifest in those two types and is considered a symptom of ADHD. But of course, ADHD as a disorder is this sort of clumping of symptoms. Check off some boxes. Do you have it or not? It's not like this. It's not like a real disease like COVID-19, right? Where you can get swabbed and find out if you have it or not. ADHD is one of those bullshit disorders. It's not like a real thing like bipolar mania or sleep disorder that keeps you awake for a bunch of hours. It's a bullshit disorder like ODD, oppositional defiant disorder, where the psychologist goes, I don't like your attitude, so I'm going to give it a label. ADHD
that's shitty.
ADHD is, you don't naturally fit in well with the world, so I'm going to give you a label, especially in school. You don't naturally fit in well in school, so I'm going to give you a label. And it's called ADHD. Well, look, I mean, I'm on Adderall for ADHD. So the thing about your son being diagnosed with it, most of those diagnostic tests are absolutely terrible. Like, for example, Delilah couldn't fail the diagnostic test enough to get prescribed for Adderall. But because, of course, it's not that she's not an action type. Hi, Dad.
I know that I'm always doing this, but
Hold on. Well, I got in trouble. I got in a little bit of trouble because my dad had to go into the master bedroom today, and it's a little messy for his taste in there right now. We're going to have to pick up, do some laundry and stuff.
Yeah. We should do the sheets and at least throw things out. I think it was like probably mostly upset about the garbage can. Yeah.
We'll clean it up.
Yes, we will.
I heard that disorder runs rampant in prison. Oppositional defiant disorder.
and I did the research on it, and it's cherry picks and.
Thing with this?
Mm-hmm. We'll go ahead and read it because it's all over the map. It doesn't really apply to Jane.
Yeah, I mean, the cherry picking is outrageous across the board regarding this subject. This is a textbook example of cherry picked data creating a fucking catastrophe.
Well, they do, and it isn't made clear exactly to what particular category of patients this applies to. Anyway, here's trouble.
Here comes trouble.
Get out of the way.
All right,
Okay.
thanks, Dad.
Crying this morning. I'm crying. Trouble. I thought I was peeping. I got worried. He wanted to come in.
The nursing home industry has been devastated by the coronavirus, with outbreaks killing thousands of elderly residents. But the health crisis presents operators with potential financial upside. Patients with COVID could be worth more than 4 times what homes are able to charge for long-term residents with relatively mild health issues. What?
Mm-hmm.
Some patient advocates and industry experts fear the premium pay available for coronavirus patients and a stimulus easing of regulations around transfers could tempt some home operators to, quote unquote, move out low-paying residents to bring in more lucrative COVID patients. But I got a better idea. Why don't they just infect all the old people with COVID? Why, I bet you there's some unscrupulous operator out there thinking exactly that. Now, here's the kind of unintended consequences we get when people are fucking moronic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We have a circumstance now where we've made it profitable for nursing home operators to infect their populations with COVID.
No.
We have a wonderful situation,
That's
everybody.
unethical.
Hey, COVID alarmists, you've now made it profitable for nursing homes to infect their patients with COVID. Isn't that amazing? Thanks, Anchor Jason Blood. Thanks. I mean, just to all the people who
Right?
supporting this in the
It's
first place.
ridiculous.
Thanks
Oh my
a
God,
lot.
that's right. Right, Sandy? That's ridiculous. What gives them the right?
No, but do you see how what stupidity does? It incentivizes infecting COVID. Look, the point is some action types, especially NE-DOMs, I think, especially ENTPs, I think, do actually benefit some from taking
Yeah.
Adderall. I mean, it's no question that I get some of my best work done when I'm on Adderall. I want heads on chopping blocks too, goddammit,
Yeah.
Jake Hurwitz. Goddamn COVID alarmist, this is your fault.
This is bullshit.
You have now made it profitable to infect old people with a disease.
That's
Thanks a lot.
unethical.
Well,
That's unethical.
Well, it's very unethical to infect old people with a disease for
is.
profit. But I suppose it's not inherently unethical to create that clusterfuck of a disaster if you didn't think at all, because you have to be willfully unethical. You have to have willfully chosen to accomplish that.
Uh-huh.
The thing is, I was anticipating unanticipated consequences as best I could. I never anticipated that. I never anticipated that they'd mess things up so royally that they'd incentivize nursing homes to infect old people with COVID.
I don't mind. All right.
Okay, but look, hey, it's only been profitable for people in the healthcare industry. The point is, if you got an old person with cancer, you've got a lot of medical treatment to give them. Well, listen, here's the deal. If you own a nursing home and you've got an old person in there and they've got cancer and they're dying, you might get $10,000 a month for them. But good news, thanks to all this government action, if instead you infect them with COVID, then you get $40,000 a month for them.
What kind of retirement plan is that?
How fun!
This is a stimulus package.
The government has incentivized infecting old people with COVID.
Yeah, that's unethical.
How? What a great idea that was, huh?
Right? Whose idea was that?
It's in the LA Times, but they don't frame it like that. They don't frame it as, oh shit, our advocacy for this COVID alarmist bullshit this whole time. Because the LA Times has been a passionate advocate in favor of shutting down everything, no matter what, for whatever reason, you know? And it was incredibly stupid from the get-go. I said so from the get-go. I've been hammering this point from the get-go, and I've been proved right. But the fucking media is trying to spin it as though they were right the whole time, and that's why not everybody's dead or something.
God.
Bullshit. Well, that's the great news about it, Bacon. I've got some great news. You see, COVID kills very few people.
It was. I sense a plot to destroy the Jedi as well, Swift Eagle. That's why my Mayan calendar number is Planetary Skywalker. And that's not even a joke.
Cloud Gear, the eternal devotee. I feel you. Imagine all your old people dying so hard they become 1-year-olds.
Oh my God. They do not want that.
That is that's a pretty good sentence right there.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I'm with you, Jake Hurwitz. You're being beckoned. Nympha's being beckoned. Who are you being beckoned by? The beckoner? Are you being beckoned by
Becky?
by Beck or Becky or are you being beckoned by Bjorn Borg?
Or are you beckoned by Romeo? Doesn't Romeo beckon?
He's a beckoner. I think he's a beckoner.
He's definitely a beckoner.
You know who though is a famous beckoner is Bjorn Borg.
I don't know who Bjorn Borg is.
Famous tennis player.
Really? Does she like woo?
Yeah, just give us a proper plague or get this shit over with. Excellent sentence right
That
there.
is.
Just give us a proper plague or get this shit over
That
with.
is the perfect sentence. It is.
And this is not a proper plague.
No.
We're not
a proper plague.
If we're going to be locked down, I want to see body bags in the streets, for God's sakes.
You know, putting fear and panic into people for really not a good reason is extremely... Isn't that affects people's ontology, no?
What?
I mean, the alarmist stuff increases panic, and therefore, like, you're...
You know, I mean, the thing is, it messes up everybody's frame of reference. It creates a shit ton of cognitive dissonance because David's being cherry-picked. No, this was never a good idea. And the haughty hubris of the people who had power and authority to make decisions to insist that they knew best when all they need to do is listen to me to know otherwise is just appalling.
I like that you use hubris. That means very snotty.
Technically, officially, it means pride against God.
What? Wow.
That's as snotty as you can get.
There's a comedian who makes fun of the word hubris because it's not you. Like, I don't know. He's on BoJack Horseman. It's funny. Stop. ISFP trying to bully someone. LLMFAO, says Octavia Silva. Go on strike. Lumafau. Go on strike for your proper plague rights, says Cloud Gear, the eternal devotee.
We gotta fight for our right to party, okay?
Yeah.
That's what's being taken away from us.
Yeah, it is.
Our right to party.
I'm doing my makeup right now.
We gotta fight for our right to party. That should be a Beastie Boys song should be the theme song of the sensible people. It should be the COVID alarmists is group 1, sensible people is group 2.
Yeah.
Responsible people is group 2. There's the irresponsible COVID alarmists and there were the responsible, sensible people. Those are the two groups. The two groups there have always been.
Let me tell you, the sensible group was at the beach last night.
Yeah, looking at the blue waves instead of obeying the stay-at-home order.
Yeah, but some people are now enjoying like the stay-at-home order.
Okay, but I mean, seriously, who the fuck is ordering me to stay at home again, and why? They're not really ordering me to stay at home. They're ordering me to stay at home unless I have something important to do. According to whom? Important according to whom? Necessary according to whom? You know, it's like my dad can't even do business hardly in the world because he relies on reading people's lips.
Yeah. And he says to have everyone on the phone.
You know, there is something known as a right to peaceful assembly.
Yes, there is.
And it's enshrined in our First Amendment.
Yep.
And we have to respect that right of peaceful assembly.
Yes. That's the best way to move forward with things. It always has been. Good. I'm so glad you're back, Ninfa Estrada. I'm getting hungry.
You want to go get some foods?
I think that's a good idea.
All right, let's do that then.
We don't have to go right away. Like, I'm thinking I could use some F and GJ, and then maybe we'll go.
Yeah, sure. Your yesterday
It feels like
Yamato
it's-
makeup makes me want to watch an episode of Naruto when we get back.
We
to
gotta
Tokyo.
do that. It's been a bit.
Or you know what we could do even?
Mm.
We could order food
Okay,
and deliver it.
let's do that.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
What do you want to order?
Mm. It's so crazy because I feel like I've been more limited in my thinking of what I want to eat because of COVID, and now I'm like thinking of options. I was thinking Thai or like Korean, something like that.
Who is Rachel doing her makeup for?
Me.
Herself, I guess, and
It really is me.
and the viewing audience too.
Yeah, I'm showing you my beauty routine. So this is how I line my eyes with eyeliner. I can tell which side is different. I can use more color.
It's a good way to do it because it's like a mirror.
Yeah.
Not a mirror.
Yeah.
My zipper's down.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Kayla. You could just say XYZ. It stands for examine your zipper.
It's such a good song. Oh, I'm boring, so I'm taking my time. Oh, I'm boring, so I think that's what he's saying, right?
I don't know.
I don't even know. I say that he's saying boring because sometimes I get like that. I've been thinking too much.
See, I think that it really, something like a trip last night to the beach to go look at the waves is something that
Yeah.
Right. Well, the thing is that here's the deal, Andy. I'm on the same page with you in that I respect the store's rights to do as they see fit.
Right.
And it's their store and it's their property. And so if they want to set terms for me going into their store, fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like it. And, it's like the theater is fundamentally offensive to me. So like on the card reader thing at the supermarket, they've got an extra sheet of plastic over the touch screen. Why?
Extra help from.
Now, no, they don't have any sheet of plastic over the buttons you push to enter your numbers, but on the touch screen, they do have an extra sheet of plastic. Now, how does that do anything? It just means it's like the touch screen is dirty from people touching it. The piece of plastic will also be dirty from people touching it. It doesn't make any difference.
Hey, Winston's mom.
Why in the world is there a 10 p.m. shutdown? Does the virus stop work harder at night or something?
It's like Freddy Krueger.
What's thick? THICC. I don't know what that is. That's ward off viruses. Okay. Hi, General.
For Rachel, what is the smallest number greater than 0 fractions are allowed? I just keep on saying 0 in my mind. So I'm going to go with 0 because I have no idea.
There's 1 over infinity.
See, I'm not a math person.
Yeah, there's absolutely no sense to this because, of course, okay, I was at the weed store yesterday. There was about 10 people now assembled inside the waiting room area, trying to stay 6 feet apart from each other, which is not a big enough space to do.
I know.
And
I get offended when I have to. When I am so polite on my walks, I have been moving over to the other side of the street so that people don't, I respect the 6 feet rule. But it's coming to the point where I'm like, hi, I see you. Do you want
You
to be the one who
move.
move over?
Yeah, you move.
Yeah.
You got a piece of makeup
Thank
on your
you.
nose there.
If you don't get makeup on your face like that, you're not doing it right.
I've almost got it all off though. There, it's all gone now.
Thank you. How do my eyelashes look?
They look fantastic. Right. Well, it's absurd. So meanwhile, while I'm going into various stores and getting various degrees of distance from them, some stores enforcing it more than others and whatever, some stores can't do business at all. They're not allowed to do any business. Why? Because they're deemed unnecessary. Unnecessary for whom? It's not unnecessary for the business owners to run their business. It's not unnecessary for their customers to do what they want any more than it's like McDonald's is thriving.
Yeah.
McDonald's is thriving. It was set up to function well in this situation. It's got drive-thrus that are always full of people. Meanwhile, the restaurants that aren't natively drive-thrus, they are suffering.
Yeah.
Yes, you can get takeout, but most people have their habits, you know?
Yeah.
Rachel and I have gone to McDonald's more than ever before in our lives during this COVID thing. The thing that makes it so appalling is that it is absolutely arbitrary. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's like the trout season. It's open in the whole state except for 3 counties. Why not? Infinity isn't a number. Then there's no answer to the question.
So one.
Unless you want to say square root of 2.
Wait, who's the same? What's the answer to that question, Tom Jackelson? Like, why were you asking a math question? Are you trying to test my TI?
Probably.
I'm not an ENFP. Even when I was in ENFP, I thought that I was embarrassed by ENFPs, which is not a good sign.
There are always going to be people who try to challenge you.
Yeah, because I said it. I said it first. I was like, I've been tested and ENFP and ENTP.
How do we go about retaking the frame? Well, I would say cherry picking is one of the key words we have to use. We have to point out that the COVID alarmists have been lying to everybody by cherry picking the data. That's an expression most people get. They understand it. It's not too complicated. I just heard it from my dad, and I realized there's an angle that makes sense. Seeing so many videos of doctors recently that are saying what you have about COVID all along. Eric, have you seen any of Dr. Buttar's videos? No, I haven't seen any of Dr. Buttar's videos. I'm not embarrassed by ENTPs. I tend to find ENTPs that are embarrassing, and I go, oh, they're probably not really an ENTP. I mean, I get that we're kind of fundamentally embarrassing, but I'm not embarrassed.
Yeah, you're not just.
I don't find my type embarrassing.
You're always just being you in my mind. And the things you do can be quirky, so they're funny.
I generally like other ENTPs too. Like,
yeah,
Isaiah Rude can be. Okay, Zizek's a bit embarrassing. Yeah, Zizek, but he's intellectually embarrassing. I'm not embarrassed. I kind of think he's cool, actually, in a weird way.
Can I have the F and GJ, please?
You F and GJ till your little stomach is content.
I figured that might help.
Thank you, Bobby-san, for saying the part that goes, what you have been saying all along. Thank you for that part especially. I have been saying it all along, and I'm going to continue to point that out because...
Since the beginning.
And my dad has, too. The thing is, it's not just an ENTP thing. He's an ESTJ. He's been pissed off about this from the beginning.
I'm even upset at myself about how it made me feel panicky. I let it make me feel panicky.
I haven't I don't know if he's an EHP. I don't know about him really.
That's an interesting watch. Zizek spread.
That's interesting. He won that way. God damn it, fucking Zizek. He wouldn't defeat me, that's for sure. I'd rip his ass to pieces. I would rip Zizek's ass to pieces. He would stand no chance whatsoever. I would tear him fucking apart. Zizek would be left a bloody mess on the ground after I was done with him.
Oh.
Fucker. That pisses me off when EHPs use their powers for evil. Because, he's just assembling the whole time, too. And just engaging in a bunch of fucking metaphorical bullshit and putting things next to each other. That's what he does. He puts things next to each other and makes it seem like there's some sort of link there that there isn't. And he gets people confused in his butt fuckery of metaphor. Fucking Zizek. Mm-hmm. People run that shit in debate. I'm very familiar with it. That's why he would stand no chance against me. He's just one of the weak-ass fucking argument blocks that people throw out in debate. Truth. God damn it, this is my wavelength right now. Truth. With a PH at the end. Truth. Urban style.
Yeah, put some truth in that.
Truth.
Yeah, just randomly.
Ruthless truth.
Just randomly popped out.
Ruthless truth. Ruthless truth.
And what is 6 plus 3? 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is about truth and magic.
What is my view of Bill Gates and 5G involvement and all this? I don't know what you mean by 5G. You mean like the Big Five? I mean like the five. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I wouldn't be worried about that.
The Big Five industrialized countries kind of thing. Is that what you're talking about? The thing is, I don't know. I don't have any opinion about it because I don't see it as relevant to anything that the truth is thick indeed. Mrs. Small, you are correct. I just don't think it's relevant to anything. It's like the problem here is all in front of us. We don't need any secret information to know what the problem is.
Beginnings is what I got. I like the color.
He means 5G wireless causing the virus? How would 5G wireless cause the virus?
I got that from me.
Beginnings, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What color's on this too? How would 5G wireless cause the virus? That makes no sense. Why would it be the cause of the virus? That makes no sense at all. Just because it coincided in time, like, well, the introduction of 5G coincided in time with the arrival of the coronavirus, therefore it caused it. The end.
Yeah, the cars hate that answer.
Oh, the reptiles are trying to purge us, I see. They sure did come up with a shitty plague.
I think it's not a shitty plague.
What?
I love you. That's cute.
You do not crush on Kissinger.
You don't?
That's good to know. I'll keep that in mind. I was gonna send you that file full of naked Kissinger pictures I have, but now I won't. I know, of course, generalist. I've been saying this shit from the get-go. God, gee, fucking COVID pisses me off. But it's kind of funny because it's like, well, I'm glad I was so completely right about everything. That's nice, It's just sort of a happy reality because, first of all, I mean, my being right means people didn't really die very much. If they wanted, if there was some conspiracy to harm us, kill us, restrain our liberty, or whatever, this is not a good way to go about doing that. Because now all of a sudden, this conversation topic is very much open. Hey, where is the government getting the power to just abruptly eliminate the right to free assembly and stuff become open
True.
questions now. Those are questions we couldn't even ask in debate at the beginning of this COVID shit because the frame had been so butt fucked from the beginning, you know?
That goes against.
John Mayer,
What about John Mayer?
one of Winston's mom's crushes.
Really? I heard he was dating someone recently. Or someone was talking about him. Oh no, Jessica Simpson wrote a tell-all and painted John Mayer in a really, really bad light.
Did Jessica Simpson date John Mayer?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd also, if I had to go gay and I had to have gay sexual intercourse for some reason, it was like terrorists had me and Rachel at gunpoint and said, Eric, you must have gay sexual intercourse or I'll kill you both. Then, yeah, I'm with Cloud Gear. Danny DeVito. I want Danny DeVito.
He's the best.
You got to figure it would be fun, you know? He'd be playful. He would make it as little uncomfortable as possible.
He's one of my favorite characters on It's Always Sunny. You know how we were talking about one show where you had to see from the beginning and you had to see the Strangers of Candy. We were saying how it makes a lot more sense when you see it from the beginning because you kind of get like the context and the content of the show.
Right.
I think that It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is kind of like that for me because I would watch single episodes and I'd be like, these people are so terrible. Like, how could anyone like this, right? Like, it just is like, I'm like, they're all just a bunch of assholes. But then when you see the first episode and see that Dee and Dennis are siblings and that Danny DeVito is the dad and they have this, like, you know, Irish pub that how the hell knows it, like, gets paid for, and Charlie is their friend who's an INFP who they like totally disrespect, but he has no idea. He's just always happy-go-lucky. And the fact that it takes place in Philadelphia, which is a small city that doesn't get that much respect.
Okay, well, you know what, TJ, that might make good sense, but
yeah,
I'm still sticking with my choice, Danny DeVito. You know, the only other possible guy I would think of would be maybe the Danny DeVito equivalent from Seinfeld, whatever his name was. The guy who played
Nile Rodgers.
The guy who played George.
Oh, he was good.
What was his name?
I don't know. That I don't know.
You know, he's kind of like a younger, slightly slimmer Danny DeVito.
Yeah, shout out to Philly. I think that Charlie's an ENFP too. I always thought he was an ENFP. The way that he like is able to clean the dirty like bathrooms as a job, and he like always does it in his like weird way, and only does like half-asses it sometimes, but he does it. And then he's a bird lawyer.
He's a bird lawyer.
He's a bird lawyer.
What's a bird lawyer?
Exactly.
The thing is, Jason Alexander is correct. Yes, thank you, Jake Hurwitz. But yeah, I wanted to say was ENFP. That main guy, one of the Lagina brothers on what's it called? Oh, Curse of Oak Island. So the main guy, or the more active of the two brothers, there's Marty Lagina, who's the older brother, and he's a little bit less active. And then there's younger brother Lagina, whose name I can't remember for some reason right now.
Oh.
But that younger brother who gets most of the camera time.
There's glasses and no glasses. Actually, they both wear glasses.
It's the guy with the dyed hair and
no beard.
No, he has a beard. The beard guy. Beard guy is an ENFP.
ENFP,
Yes. He's such an ENFP, and you can see his innie being so optimistic all the time. This time I know we're going to find it. Except he's TE, and so it's like, and he's enamored with every new little theory he hears and everything. But he's always constrained by TE. Got to make sure the methodology has merit. And he sort of like relies on his brother to do the logic part in general.
Yeah.
You don't want to punch a hole in it. I see.
Yeah.
Very smart. That's good TE, Rachel.
I saw you do it once. You did it with the sign, so.
Oh, because I see, but that was because I couldn't punch through it. That's great. That's
Thank
interesting.
you. Yeah, I would rather not punch holes. Those are our cards for today. Could you help me?
How did he embarrass himself in that interview with the English guy? Of course I can help you.
I would like to use the Chloe for deodorant today and be Parisian.
Okay, cool. Sam Harris is pretty good. He's just where did you get your knowledge about cognitive functions? I've got it from a lot of different sources, and then I did a lot of ideation and work and thinking and case building, basically.
I've seen You're the Worst, but I didn't finish it, so I don't know what happened. But I definitely watched it before work, that's for sure. I did watch it.
Well, I mean, I'd smoke his ass for sure. Sam Harris wouldn't stand a chance, but all the people mentioned today, the one who would give me the most trouble would be Zizek, but I'd still wipe the floor with him.
Taking my time. Where did I put my little bag? Can I leave it in the car?
Yeah, it's in the trunk.
Okay, well, thanks.
You want the keys?
No.
We're
I'm
gonna.
not that. As long as it's in the trunk, then it's fine.
We still need to eat some food, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, Bill Walton is just a terrible basketball announcer. I don't even know if Bill Walton might not be. Well, yeah, I do disagree with Sam Harris about a lot of stuff, but at least I respect his argumentation approach. What hurt Ben Shapiro's feelings? Because that's weird. He must. I think Ben Shapiro might be an ESTJ. There's my read on him. No wonder I like who. Well, I mean, look, ESTJs can be excellent debaters. My former assistant coach and the head coach of Peninsula, one of the best policy debate coaches in the country, one of the most successful, has multiple national champions at the high school level. Scott Wheeler is an ESTJ. So don't underestimate ESTJs. But here's the problem for ESTJs. They always underestimate ENTPs.
Could you buy ESTP? How much would you buy ESTP for?
For Ben Shapiro, I wouldn't buy ESTP at all. Even when Ben Shapiro is right, it doesn't matter because he's so unlikable. You got to remember something, Cloud. And this is important. You sure I'm smart? Sure I'm good at talking or whatever. But listen, Cloud, you got to remember something. I am a spiritual luminary. Okay? If Teal Swan is a spiritual luminary, I am definitely a spiritual luminary, and so is Rachel. We're very luminescent.
We are.
We're spiritually illuminating. No, Cloud, no. My spirituality is superior. I'm more spiritual than you.
So
God.
Alma with the show, I believe that I'm on season 3. I'm pretty behind because once my work schedule changed, I stopped watching the show. But I do believe there's a good chance of the main character of the female possibly being ESCP.
Winston's mom, that's a combination of our magics. See, magician plus high priestess equals.
It was like being at Disney, but you were in nature.
I wish I had Cloud. I can't be a wannabe Rick and Morty character because Rick and Morty had been on for at least 2 seasons before I finally caved in to people's requests that I watch it and looked at it.
Wow, see, that's pretty big. They base it off of you, if anything.
Yeah, exactly. Rick is just a wannabe host Eric.
Yeah, I think they see you traveling around doing your thing, and they notice things because you're an LA guy. So,
am I joke police or something? Yes, and you have hereby been cited.
Unfunny.
In the first degree. That'll be a $50 fine. You can do it as a super chat if you'd like. We'll accept your fine.
Yeah, we do accept fines through super chat.
Well, Cloud, you have an incredibly high tolerance for dullness. So that's why you're always here, you see.
Right?
Because you're drawn to that which is dull, and you like to be around it for great lengths of time.
Eric is the best version of an ENTP. He does do and say a lot of things that Rick does too, and that's I liked Rick even before I knew he was an ENTP. I liked.
But listen, Cloud, I'm with you. I am opposed to dullness in general, and that's why I want you to do your civic duty and stop coddling and encouraging this dullness by being here. After all, you're just adding to the total number of people here. That just encourages me. You can't encourage my dullness by being here. Now, I understand and respect your moral position here, and you need to leave now. I get that.
So Eric reminds you of Frank from Shameless. Like the dad is Frank the dad, I believe. He's the drunk dad. He could be a really bad incarnation. Like Frank could be a really bad incarnation of what an ENTP can look like. Yeah, because like he's a drunk and he's funny and he really does care about his kids in that show. You could tell, but I think he's not. I wouldn't want to use him as an example of an ENTP. He's not. I don't think he's
His funny jokes were written by an ENTP.
Yeah. Seamus is pretty good.
So we do need to poo. Well, we do need to go to get some food or order some food here pretty soon.
Yeah, sure. Either one. We could order or.
And your last pick, you looked 28. Now you look 18. Who are you talking to? Oh, it's Andy.
I like Sandy's new look.
I like the fact that she's got sheepdog hair.
Ooh, like.
Right? You know, like it looks like it covers over her eyes.
Yeah.
You know how sheepdogs have to go like this so they can see that to spread their face, their eye covering hairs away?
Mm-hmm. They fan down like that. They're beautiful. Sandy is.
Yeah, she's a wonderful lady.
She is the wonderful lady, indeed.
Okay, so we got to talk more about lunch while you're smoking that bowl. I'm thinking. What did you say? You wanted Thai food?
Yeah, for some reason. Like, you know, like the place that we went to and we like sweated stuff out.
Right. That sounds good. I wonder. We have to get that delivered for sure.
Yeah, but if you don't want to, if you think,
Do you want to get
let's
Panda
out.
Express?
Yeah, Panda Express. I've had Panda Express since I've been here.
All right, we're gonna
And
go get.
I bragged in New York about how I think Panda Express is better than the Chinese food that we have in New York, and it insults the people. So I love Panda Express.
I like Panda Express too. It's good. Okay, well then, why don't we go and get some Panda Express?
Yeah,
We
Panda
should
Express and Naruto.
We should literally get some Panda Express.
Let's like literally do that, and then like we can like literally feel so. It would like so help my starvation because I'm literally starved to death.
I'm literally starved to death too. I'm literally just bones on the sand in the desert of starvation.
Yeah, and I actually do agree with Brandon. They better sell hot dogs at Panda Express. I agree. I mean, like, what place wouldn't? Hot dogs are America.
Like bacon, I totally agree because 3 meals a day is like literally 1,000,000 times too many meals per day.
Thai food, yes. Please, I would like extra spring rolls and
Thai
iced tea is good.
So good. Ew, so good. So juicy. You want to talk about things that are juicy? Thai iced tea is super juicy. You just go like, juicy.
And you try not to drink it all before your order comes because it's that damn good.
That's baby fat juicy couture.
Yeah.
Air side that you probably go outside once in a while.
Yes.
I know.
I second that notion.
When Rachel and I go for long drives, she really likes that.
I do.
It's surprising because, you know, for me, it's like a certain amount of frustration driving and, you know, it's an SI.
Oh, certain. Okay, I see. Now, does it bother you when the window is open because of your ears?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying I like to go out and do things too. But for me, there's this ticking clock of SI. Whereas Rachel really seems to settle into being SE, and it seems like relief for her, you know. But I literally agree with you, CJ, on Literally O'Connell, because 3 meals a day is too many. No, I don't agree with you, CJ O'Connell. I agree with whoever it was that said it's too many. We eat about, well, we probably do eat 3 meals a day, but like, okay, like last night we had lunch. We sort of had mini lunch, a little bit of something. We had like a cheeseburger each.
That was nice.
A snack. And then we had dinner. And then we had late night dinner.
Late night. Yeah, we did. It was good. It was really good.
We were hungry again.
I am kind of 2 meals and a snack, Mujin. I also can say that when I was in college, I formed a habit of using my money best I could. So and that always meant having enough money to party, but also having enough money to eat. So I lived off of like, you know, those like, I think they're Knox, like packaged pasta, like meals and stuff. You just like put like a couple, like a little bit of water in, you know, put it in the pot, stir a little bit, eat. It's like a cheese and like macaroni treat and pretzels and potato chips for 2 years. And that was my workaround, having dinner, breakfast, and lunch. Lunch I would have in the cafeteria if I was at school. But if I wasn't traveling for food. I was just going to have what I had in the house, and that was it. So my SI is not good at all, guys. Just so you know. That's what I'm saying.
My ears are sensitive. Like, I have problems with inner ear stuff. Like, I get very seasick. I don't dive well. Like, I can't go down very far without having pressure issues with my ears. I don't climb very well in a car up a steep hill. My ears will pop.
Yeah, me too.
You know, it's a troublesome thing for me. Sometimes in airplanes too. The thing is, it's within the range of, if I'm not stressing it, it's fine. So it's like I'm not so inner ear weak that normal activity makes me feel inner ear problems, but anything beyond that. Rachel might have that. She does have that.
I also have like the eustachian. That my real problem is eustachian tube dysfunction. Eustachian tubes are the two tubes in the back of your ears that drain everything down to your throat and your nose. And they're supposed to be on an angle so that everything goes down. Well, mine, for some reason on this side, never developed and it stayed straight like a child's. So it gets constantly jammed with like water and bacteria and stuff. And I get infections if I'm not careful with it. So I have my left ear is like a 5-year-old ear. You gotta keep that in check. I saw you do. I think everyone has to. Most people have to keep in check.
Yeah. So my ear problems are just that they don't really affect me, except to say that I don't like to be jostled a lot. You know. I don't know, Mujan. I don't know the answer to that question. But I can tell you this: Delilah seems to have been an ESTP from the get-go.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Can we show the picture of her with the sunglasses?
Yeah, you can find it.
Yeah.
But like even as a baby, I remember her being very SE, trying to do all the time, trying to move.
She's trying to climb and get into things. So freaking. She's just.
That's funny, Brandon.
Oh, and look at her grandma. What does she call your mom?
Grandma.
Grandma? She did.
Yeah.
Oh, your mom has a great smile.
Yeah.
No, not this. Not this. This. Look at that fucking ESTP face.
Here's my. Little ESTP Delilah. I can't really see it that well, but.
Look at those glasses, those sunglasses. Doesn't she look ready to take charge in the cutest way? She also looks like Dora the Explorer.
Yeah. She's 3 probably at this point. 3 years old.
I wonder what.
Is it sideways or?
Like that.
She was a little adorable pants is what she was.
Oh my gosh, look at her toenail polish. It's different colors. What a stylista. Fashionista, I should say.
Okay, Brandon. Brandon is Neptune. Oh, okay. Neptune, I've talked to many times. I know him well.
I've heard of Neptune, seen Neptune in the room, but I never knew who it was. Yes, that is him with his.
No, I never typed Delilah as an ENFP. I did type her as an ENTP for a long time, and then I realized she's an ESTP.
Which makes sense.
But I never have ever typed her as an ENFP. Well, I've thrown up from coughing.
Yeah.
I've thrown up from coughing plenty of times.
From coughing, yes. From it, no.
Right.
Like, it's like if you're in a coughing fit.
Yeah, it's never been the case that I've even considered for a moment that Delilah might not be a TI. I did. Actually, I typed him as ESTP, and then he informed me, "Nope, you're wrong. I'm an ENTP," and I accepted that. This was way back at the beginning of when I was. I had never typed anybody professionally or anything at the time. I was just typing somebody.
Who?
So actually, I did type Taylor as ESTP. He then told me, "No, I'm not an ESTP," and convinced me he was an ENTP. But then, as I learned more about typology and cognitive functions, I came to understand he's an ESTP.
Yeah, he is.
You know.
That's how typology is.
You want to put in this under
Trial
your
and
arms?
error. Yes, please.
Well, the thing about it is this. For somebody who's learning to understand typology and trying to use a wholly objective calculus, that's to say, to never let my own
Very much.
attachment to my frame prevent me from updating my frame, essentially. The development of my typings, it makes perfect sense. At first, I mistyped smart sensors as intuitives until I learned that, in fact, there are plenty of smart sensors out there. I mistyped my dad as ENTJ at first. Same reason. I thought he was too smart to be a sensor, basically. So those mistypings make a lot of sense as I grow in my nuance in my typing. But yeah, I never was so off base as to mistake obvious TI tool for FI tool. I never had that kind of mistake. She's definitely a TI. There's no doubt about it.
Me?
No, I'm talking about Delilah.
Oh yeah. She was talking about family when we were driving them back from the airport to the condo.
She's talking about what?
I don't know. She showed it in the when we were in the car.
She shows it all the time. She's FI polar. It's obvious. Anyway, whatever. People want to mistype Delilah as something else. It's crazy. Okay. Okay. Brandon, that's fair. It's quite possible I used to think FI DOMs were sometimes too reasonable to be FI DOMs. I perhaps under.
Oh my god.
No, I got offended when Taylor. Oh yeah, you're right. When Taylor accused me of being biased, too attached to be objective about my own daughter. Well, the reason I got offended, of course, is it doesn't matter if he's right or not. It's not responsive to what I was saying. You see, it's like it doesn't matter how biased I am; I can still be right.
Yeah, of course.
That's what was so offensive about it, because it's a denial of the fundamental rule of TI, which is you address the argument, not the person.
Here's my boo you.
Well, you're right that NI is a better definition of intuition is more intuition than SI, but you're wrong because of the placement of the intuition in the stack. The reason SPs are S's is because their intuition comes below 2. And the reason N's are N's is because their intuition comes above 2. Everybody has intuition of some sort in the front stack. And it might be true that NI is more closely linked to conventional understandings of intuition than NE is, but it's nevertheless the case that NE 1.2 and NI 1.2 are more intuitive than any sensors. So there you go.
Oh, I keep on going for my bag because my lip balm is
okay,
in there.
Well, let's go. Let's go get some food. Let's go get Panda's food.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
I'm starving now,
Have
too.
a good day. Steve Jobs is nice. You're getting there.